the theme here. I don't know if doing this in the morning is a good idea. I'm not quite human yet. Till the third cup of coffee. Matthew 16. Whoever wants to be my disciple must Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. Matthew 16:24. There's a whole lot in that. More than a little piece. We all leave a bit of ourselves behind when we move to a new place. But to become a long-term resident of Villas Las Estrellas, let me just say that the white way. Villa Las Estrellas, Antarctica. Wow, what a name. But to become a long-term resident in Villas Antarctica, a cold and desolate place, leaving a piece of yourself behind is a literal thing. Ooh. With the nearest hospital 625 miles away, a person will be in serious trouble if their appendix bursts. So every citizen must first undergo an appendectomy before moving there. Just move to Miami and keep all your parts. Drastic, right? But it's not as drastic as becoming a resident of the kingdom of God. Because people want to follow Jesus on their own terms and not his. He redefines what it means to be a disciple. He said, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. This includes being prepared to let go of anything that can... Ooh, man, this is good. This includes being prepared to let go of anything that competes with him. That competes with him and his kingdom. And as we take up our cross, we declare a willingness to undergo social and political oppression and even death for the sake of devotion to Christ. Along with letting go and taking up, we're also to take on a willingness to truly follow him. This is a moment-by-moment posture of following his lead as he guides us into service and sacrifice. Oh, that's huge. Let's see. Following Jesus means so much more than leaving a little piece of our lives behind. As he helps us, it's about submitting and surrendering our whole lives, including our bodies, to him alone. What does it mean for you to follow Jesus? How is he asking you to sacrifice your life for him? Dear Jesus, please help me give up anything that competes with you and your kingdom. Let me go back to this again. This includes being prepared to let go of anything that competes with him and his kingdom. Remember, I talked about the book that I read here. It's hiding. Anyhow, the guy talked basically about submitting to God's will. I think some people misunderstand the word will, but submitting to God's will or submitting to God's plan. God has a plan, okay? Sometimes we're praying or wanting for all these things. God, help me do this. God, help me do that. When really the context or the direction we need to be going is, God, what is your will? Where are you going? How do I fit into that plan? But to do that is a submissive attitude. It's like, I'm willing to leave what I'm doing and go follow you with what you're doing. Help me do that. And he will. But you might say, sell the Harley. Stop drinking with those people. That's the wrong church. You need to quit that job. That's painful. That's hard for a man to hear something like that. It's like, gee, do I really want to make that kind of commitment, you know? But as far as to submit to his will, I think a lot of people misunderstand that sometimes. Find out what God's into and get in on it, okay? And if you're doing it, he's going to include you on that with this thing he has going. You know, it far surpasses the left, the right, the politics, the Russians, all this garbage. Okay, what is God's will for you? Where does he want you in his plan? Not necessarily helping you with your plan, okay? So let me read this again. And as we take up our cross, we declare a willingness to undergo a social and political oppression. To undergo social and political oppression. In other words, No, you're not voting anymore. No, you're not getting involved in that. That messes you all up. That's what happens with me. Now, you're dividing people again. I'm trying to save all of them. Don't go Jonah on me. Was it Jonah? Who was it? The one sat by the tree and said, why are you trying to save all these people? That is so mean. Anyhow, social, political oppression, and even death for the sake of devotion to Christ, along with letting go and taking up, we're also to take on a willingness to truly follow him. This is a moment-by-moment posture of following his lead. Where's his lead? Where are you getting his lead from? John 14, 15, 16. Okay, we're doing Matthew 5, 6, 7. He does John 14, 15, 16. That's how he's going to lead us, from within. We're also taking on the willingness to truly follow him. This is a moment-by-moment posture of following his lead as he guides us into service and sacrifice. All the time you do, as far as working towards this and figuring this out and going this direction, you will have no time for the world. Who's the president? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Podcast of all these, the bad side, the wrong side. You have no time for that, okay? But this pays off. Anyway, the moment-by-moment posture of following his lead as he guides us into service and sacrifice. Guides us into service. But once again, what is his will? Where does he want me in this thing? This was written by Marvin Williams. That's a good one. Love you. God bless.